All right, guys, welcome to another video. This one is going to be about, I know it's the middle of summer, it's July the 2nd of 2020, and this is going to be about, perfect opportunity, perfect time to talk about it, driving the TRD or the Toyota Tundra in the ice and snow. And we got, what, 3 seasons of going up to the Colorado Rockies, and driving through there. We've driven in what, blinding snowstorms to where you couldn't see the road, and we had to stop to ice on the highway and everything else like that. And this is basically a blah 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 type of video where he's driving me and I'm doing the talking. As of today, our Tundra still has the Michelin ATX, whatever they are.
A tire, it has a
yeah, they're still stock. We are gonna change them, but the reason we haven't changed them is primarily because I wanted to kind of get a feeling for the tires. I mean, because a lot of people are not gonna change them, and I think these tires are fantastic, except they don't fill in the wheel well.
They look, since the truck is lifted a lot higher than normally because of the shackles and the shocks, kind of doesn't look good.
Nah, it doesn't. It looks, I don't know, not proportionate to the car. I think if it was a stock Tundra, I think it'd probably match better, because this is, like you said, lifted and all that, and we did some mods to it. Shackles part 2 will be coming out here soon enough. Anyways, so what's it like driving this thing in the snow and ice? This truck, according to Toyota, weighs 5,640 pounds. And typically when we go on trips, it's pushing 6,400, 6,500 pounds with us in it and the equipment that we're hauling up there and all that stuff. So that's a lot of weight to be hauling up mountain passes. So the truck does fantastic in the ice and snow and stuff like that. So let me give you some base numbers as far as I could find. I did some research online to kind of get an idea of the numbers that we're talking about as far as stopping and stuff like that. This truck normally, according to others online, it stops, and we haven't measured it, but it stops in 34 feet from 30 miles an hour to 0, and that's just on a dry condition. In the snow, it starts pushing up to 105 feet, and if it's all ice, this is all theoretical, I think. I don't think anybody's actually done it. You're talking about, and in the ice, you're talking about 210 feet. If you're doing 60 miles an hour, mathematically, it's going to take you 4 times the distance of what it takes you at doing 30 miles an hour. So if it's dry, you're looking at 130 feet. If it's snowy, it's about 420 feet. And if it's icing, you're looking at 840 feet to stop from 60 miles an hour. And another thing that I found out, like, if you're like taking a corner, right, coming around a corner, and we've done it, we've been in those passes. I'm going to show you footage as we're going through the pass. So if you're taking a corner, normally you can do it about 20 miles an hour, but if it's snowing, there's no way. And I've done it. You know, you come around the corner and 20 miles an hour and you're going in oncoming traffic. I mean, it's just not going. I mean, so when it's ice and snow, I found out that you got to be down around, 8 miles an hour in the same pass to make a safe corner. And we pulled out. How many people we pulled out? One time, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was
1 o'clock in the morning. We came up on this. What was it? It was an SUV.
It's like a stretched SUV.
It's some kind of a stretched SUV. I think it was an Audi. Those Audi A7s or A8s, whatever those things are. It was buried halfway up the bank on one of the corners that we came out, and we hooked them up and we pulled them right out. Going too fast around a corner. I think he must have been doing 25, 30 miles an hour around the corner, and it was kind of cool. But all right, so when because the truck, I bought it brand new, and this is my first truck, as most of you guys know, my very first truck. I wasn't sure, when what it would do. So the first thing I did, you know, as soon as it started snowing, we actually did it going down the highway. I looked in the rearview mirror, there's nobody behind me, and it's all covered in snow. So I started slamming on the brakes from 30 miles an hour, full brake, so I recommend doing it in a parking lot, but we did it on the highway with nobody around, like nobody around.
It's a straight road.
It's a straight road. So, you know, doing 40, I started doing it first at 10 miles an hour. Okay, well, that's what it does, 20, 30, 40. And I never did it past anything past 40 because it feels really sketchy when you start going beyond that. But what I found out is this truck, with these stock tires, it does fantastic. Of course, you can exceed those limits pretty quickly if you go really, really fast. I mean, the faster you go, you're just off the chart in experimental land as far as how long it takes to stop and slow down and stuff like that. But within limits, this truck, the ABS, right? How would you say it works? I think it works fantastic. It straight ahead, it slows you down. Okay, so if you're doing a corner, and as I found out, and coming some of those passes is a little bit too fast, what it does is because it weighs, you know, 6,500 pounds, 6,600 pounds, it just keeps trucking straight in snow. Like, it's just, you know, talking about 2-3 inches of snow, it'll just plow straight. It'll understeer and take you right. I mean, it'll just keep going straight. And it actually scared me one time. Not scary because nobody was coming the other direction, but had a car been there, yeah. So, you know, I kind of learned via the School of Hard Knocks. I think he does too. So like I said, if you go around a corner too fast, the ABS kicks on, and because of the weight of the truck, you're just going to keep plowing straight ahead. Stability control on the truck, you know, because of the momentum and stuff like that, it didn't swap ends or anything like that. It did a good job keeping it straight. Now, I don't know if that's a factor of the computers on board and stuff like that, but it never once felt like it was fishtailing. And it doesn't really fishtail. Once you put this thing in four-wheel drive, because of the mechanism of the four-wheel drive system this thing is on all the time. It's on all the time once it's engaged. For high, obviously, right? The type of four-wheel drive system this particular truck has, the manual states that you must use it only on loose, slippery terrain, because it's on all the time and you could possibly damage the gears and stuff like that.
It's not good for the tires when you're turning because it just understeers.
Yeah, tick, 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 tick. I mean, it makes a lot of noise and stuff like that. So, but this four-wheel drive system, as well with the stability control and the ABS, it keeps it planted. I really tried doing, it won't donut. You can go to an empty parking lot and do donuts, and it won't slide at all. I mean, it'll slide if you're going fast, but it won't, you know, it won't do donuts, and it won't lose control. Now on ice, you're in, you know,
anything will slide on that.
Anything will slide on that, and it's just, it'll swap ends on you, and you're gonna go wherever the momentum takes you. If you've never, I mean, because most of us, where we live is in Texas, and it never...
If it snows, it's only like, doesn't even stay on the ground for long.
No, it never snows. And if you're like, I lived in California, obviously, right? Hello, it never snows there. Well, up at, you know, Big Bear and stuff like that, Arrowhead. But as far as, you know, I lived in Southern California, and I was in Florida, it doesn't snow there. Here in Texas, it almost never snows, especially if you're down in South Texas, here, Dallas, Fort Worth area. It just never snows. It never snows. And if it does, it'll just ice over. And yeah, on ice, on ice, you don't want to be caught out there. Only if you're going real slow. And the problem is not necessarily you, but it's a person coming in the other direction who is oblivious to what driving on ice and snow. And most people are, because they've never done it. anyways, guys, that's our story. That's our experience with this Tundra. I absolutely love it. It does an absolute fantastic job. I never once felt
unsafe in the car.
Unsafe, yeah, unsafe on the car. I mean, you know, so many cars, and we pulled out people. They got no business. They were in
Camrys.
In a Camry, you know,
front-wheel drive with tires about this wide.
Yeah, little skinny tires, and he ran off. And good thing, because he would have careened
into the trees.
The trees, down the ravine, and all that, and the snow stopped him. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed our presentation about driving the Tundra in the snow. We still have the shackles to do, part 2. We still have a couple of more upgrades that we're going to do to this truck, as well as, I know, the Ducati. We still have that to do. We kind of ran into some problems. I finally, yeah, that's coming too. And possibly we're still looking for a second project, and it's so incredibly hard to find the right project for us to do. We've tried. I mean, there's, first of all, it's hard to find the right project. It's hard, and we've bid on a couple cars, but people out there just, even, you feel like, how in the world they have the money they have to bid up some of these cars? It's just astronomically high. It's like, there's no point. So we're still looking for another 6 month, 7 month project. We have a couple bids out right now, but we just kept getting outbid.
On one car, I think there's a good chance we might win it, but
yeah, we'll find out here in the next.
Some guy really wants a car, and they bid up just as much as a non-wrecked one.
Yeah, people bid it up, and it's just not worth it. You know, that's one of the reasons I bought this thing brand new, because it's just, you know, we did another video about that. But anyways, guys, yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next video.
Goodbye.